show you guys how to use today is a tool called the Loft tool. And what this is going to let us do is this lets us make a couple different types of parts because it works in some different ways. So what we're going to do first is I've got a new part studio started here. And what I'm going to first do is I'm going to hide some of the stuff that we have here. So we've got like the front, the top, and the right plane here. We're only going to be working with this top plane. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the front and the right. Okay, and to do that, all I'm going to do is come over here to this menu on the left. I'm going to click this little eyeball icon next to the front to hide it, and the same thing with the right. Okay, so now we just have this one plane shown. Okay, things will get a little too crowded here if we keep those on there. So I'm just going to do that to kind of save us a little space here and make things easier to see. Okay, and then what we're going to do next is now I'm going to start a sketch on the top plane. So I'm going to come over here. Let's view the top. And we're going to go ahead and start a sketch. Okay. And I'm going to click the top plane here. So we're going to use a different tool today than we normally have used. We're going to come up here to the top and use this tool right here. It's called an inscribed polygon. There's two options here. Basically, it's inscribed polygon, which puts a circle inside of a polygon, or a circumscribed polygon, which is a shape inside of a circle. Okay. Today we're going to use this one that's called the inscribed. So I'm going to click that. Okay. I'm going to click the origin right here. Okay. That sets the center. Now, as you pull it away, you can see it starts to make the shape. Okay. So I'm going to pull it. See how it kind of lines up here on the right. So I'm going to click there once to lock in the size. And now, as I move this like left or right, it changes the number of sides. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose 5 sides. So I'm going to kind of move this left and right until we've got 5. I'm going to click. Okay. And now we have this shape. Okay. And so now what we're going to do, okay, is let's go ahead and size this. So I'm going to come up here to the top. I'm going to choose our dimension tool. I'm going to click it. Let's click a side here. And let's just set this side length to 3. Okay. And you'll notice it went ahead and changed all the sides because this is symmetric. Okay. So now we've got this pentagon here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're done with this sketch right now. So I'm going to click this check mark. I'm going to rotate around. You can kind of see we've got our first shape here. Okay, now what we're going to do is I actually want to draw another shape, but kind of like a little bit offset from this. Okay, like in other words, we drew this sketch right here. I want this to be like up higher a little bit. Okay, so to do that, we're going to add in a brand new plane. Okay, so we haven't done this before. So I'm going to come up here at the top, and there's actually an option that says plane. Okay, make sure you click that green button to make sure we're out of our sketch. Okay, but I'll come up here. There's a little button that says plane. I'm going to click it. It's going to ask me for some information here. Okay, what I'm going to fill in here is it asks me what entities. Okay, basically it wants to know what am I offsetting this from. Okay, so I'm going to click the top plane. Okay, and now you'll see this plane has popped in here, plane 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and just set this distance to, let's say, 2 inches. So I'm going to type in 2, enter. Okay, I can click this green check mark, and now we've got a brand new plane that we can draw on. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and let's view it from the top. I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to click this plane 1. Okay, and make sure it pops up and says plane 1 right here. All right. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another pentagon here. So I'm going to come over here, choose the inscribed polygon. I'm going to click at the center. And, you know, let's say I drag my mouse. Let's go upward this time. And click once to set the size. Let's set it to 5 there. Okay. Let's go ahead and dimension this. So I'm going to click the dimension tool. I'll click any side here, And let's set it to just 2.5, let's say. Enter. Okay. So now we've got another shape here. All right. I'm going to click my check mark because we're done with that one. Okay, so now you can see we've got these two shapes here. Okay, now what we're going to do is let's just add in another plane here. Okay, so whoops, let's add in another one. So let's say come up here, click the plane button. This time I'm going to click plane 1 for our thing to offset from. And let's offset this one 2 inches as well. So 2, enter. And we'll click the green check mark. So now you can see we've got 3 planes in here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and view it from the top. Let's add a sketch on plane 2 now. Okay, so again, check to make sure it says plane 2 so we're in the right spot. And let's go ahead and we're going to add in another pentagon. So I'm going to click the polygon tool. I'm going to put it at the middle. I'm going to drag to the left this time. Click once to set the size. Click again to choose the number. Okay. And I'm going to size this one. I'm going to say, let's just choose, let's say 4 inches. Okay. And green check mark to save our sketch. So basically we've got this shape going on right here. Okay. And so we can see all of our sketches here. So now we're going to go ahead and experiment with the Loft tool. Okay, so what basically we're going to connect each one of these. Okay, so the Loft tool is over here. Okay, it looks kind of like a volcano here. I'm going to click it. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to click each one of these shapes. Okay. And you can see it's basically going to connect all of those together. Okay, so you can see it connects them all. And what we have is the Loft basically just connects those outside edges. Like imagine stretching over like a piece of stretchy fabric over that. Okay, so you can see it's matched up some of our corners here. So if we click the check mark, it looks something like this. Okay, so it's got a nice little like curve to it. I'm going to double click and open it again. Okay, if you wanted to instead you wanted to add like a little bit more twist to this, I could click this match vertices button. Okay, let me click all these. Okay, and let's say instead I wanted to match up some dots. I could come down here to this little vertices button. I could click, I want this dot to connect, maybe to this point. And then maybe, maybe this one over here. Okay, and that adds more twist. So it basically tells it where to kind of connect each point. Okay, so you can add more twists to it, or you can keep it as the default like this. Okay, match vertices thing does. So I'm going to click the check mark just as it is. Kind of just like this nice shape here. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say we wanted to make this into like a vase or something, or a pencil holder. What we can do is we can actually hollow this out. Now that we've made our loft and we've got like a solid part here, if I come up here to the top menu, we can actually choose to hollow this out. If I come over here, there's a cross here. There's a little box with like a cut in it. Okay, it's called the shell tool. Okay, so I'm gonna click the shell tool, and basically what this tells us is this lets us basically open up this. So basically, it's going to ask us what face do we want to remove. In other words, where do we want the hole to be at in this like vase type thing. So if I click here, you can see it opens it up now. Okay. So that opens it up. Now I can change the thickness of it. So I'm going to just leave it as 0.1 and click the check mark. And now you see it's hollow. So it's like a vase or a pot or something. Okay. So that's how we use the Loft tool. So it lets us connect all kinds of different shapes together. Okay. So that's how we make a little simple vase here.